Sylvie was born in the blue era of the Dragoniverse, a time when dragons had outgrown the forests and expanded into new settlements, plains, savannas and valleys, leaving behind their wild, forested homes. Creative and intelligent, they turned their attention to designing towns and cities, a celebrated cultural transformation. They built systems for farming, housing, care and education. The peacock blue dragons loved system design. They created rules, divided labour and systemised each corner of dragon life. Over generations, the peacock blues grew puffed up and self-important. Their systems became self-serving and they crowned themselves the cultural elite. The Dragoniverse spiralled into dominance and control. Corruption and conflict took root. Many dragons lost their way. Enslaved by systems, powerless and exhausted, many flew too close to the sun or crashed and ignited. Now, baby dragons are born white and their colours emerge between 6 months and 2 years. In her family, Sylvie was the youngest of 5 siblings, and by the age of 4, she was still white. Her parents worried. Her siblings had long been in school, but Sylvie couldn't go until her colours came in. Her doctor declared a developmental disorder and said school would be pointless for her. So Sylvie stayed in the forest. Quiet, joyful and free, she flew daily, mapped the land and honed her instincts. She lived attuned to the wisdom of the earth and felt alive in nature's perfection. At home, she watched her parents worn down by work, her siblings tense and weary. Sylvie brought light to the home, clearing nests, hanging twinkling lights and softening what she could. Of all her siblings, she and Stefan were the closest. But then one day, in Sylvie's 7th year, Stefan didn't come home from school. At first they thought he was with friends, but by morning, still no Stefan. Sylvie flew above the forest, guided by inner knowing. She found him, ashes at the base of a cliff. He had crashed, ignited and fallen. She floated down, heart aching, and rolled in his ashes. She understood. His soul had longed for a life like hers, soft, free and expressive. She stayed with him in silent communion. Her heart broke, but her courage grew. And then she flew home, gathered her family and led them back to the stones. Their mother dove first, weeping into the ashes of her son. The others followed, and then Sylvie found her voice. My darling family, draw close. I know why Stefan died. He died because he was born into a culture that had no space for softness, no space for gentleness, for attuned development. The systems that shape our world suffocated him, as they suffocate us all. I know this because I have flown alone, because I stayed in the wild while you were taught to forget it, because I listened to the trees and followed the breeze. Freedom is not a luxury, it is the very essence of life. Childhood is sacred. We must grow in rhythm, minds and bodies, guided by our inner pulse, attuned to the land and the sky. We must soar, play and grow together. But everywhere dragons are breaking. Our culture is built on dominance and greed. These systems are our nemesis. We are nature, like trees, stars, oceans and birds. But dragons are disconnected. Dragons are lovers of freedom, fairness and equality. We can live in harmony with the earth, but only if we set ourselves free. The Dragoniverse depends on confident, adaptable dragons, qualities born in the wildness of free childhood. Her family stood stunned at the clarity of her voice and their recognition of her wisdom. Sylvie's skin began to flicker, not one colour but many. as she stepped into her role as a disruptor. She was not born to fit into the hierarchical, oppressive systems of the Blue era. She was here to challenge them.